Everyone wants to make data-driven decisions, including Jira practitioners. But how is this done? Well, through Jira dashboards. This will help you aggregate and visualize the data for your team so you can make better decisions for the future. If you like this content, please subscribe on YouTube, like this video. Let's dash in. Let's start out at what is a Jira dashboard? What a dashboard is a display for Jira to aggregate data from different projects, different teams, multiple boards, so you can make insights of what's going on within the team. There's personal dashboards that you can create. You can have pre-existing dashboards. It's also called the default dashboard. We'll go over that in a little bit. It's a way to aggregate data within Jira for your internal team to view, for external teams, maybe reports. And so we'll go dive a little deeper into that today. So to start, where do we find these dashboards at? This is my project. Upper top here, there's a thing called dashboards. Open up the default dashboard first. We take a look at that. So this is the default dashboard. So everybody should have, at minimum, this dashboard here. And it already has a couple different items and what they call gadgets. You can see here it aggregates data from different projects, has things assigned to me, has an activity stream of things that are going on within these projects. And so this is the default one that you get out of the box. So first, we're going to show how to actually edit one. So on the top right hand corner here, there's an edit. We're going to click on that. And you can see here, it gives us a different screen. And you can see the layouts here. Some new options here. You can see rename, delete. So you can see how each tiles, you can add something different. This is the default dashboard. We're going to go into creating your own after this. So first, let's take a look at some functionality here. So number one, you can add gadgets. These are gadgets. So you can add gadgets here. We'll go over that in a little bit. You can change the layout. So you can see here it's 2 columns. Maybe you want 3 columns. Maybe you want a small left column, a bigger right column. And so you can see there's some options for customization here within your team. And remember, this is the default dashboard. So what this is actually defaulted to public. So everyone has access to this. For these tiles, if these filters are private or these things that are not allowed for others to see with the permissions you have set out, you'll not be able to see what's in this tile. You'll still have the tile here. And so for this default dashboard, we have much more options here. I can go over that in this video. This is just an overview of what is a dashboard, how do you configure it within your team, and useful tips on gadgets that I've used in the past and possible use cases for your team. And so I'm actually not going to touch this default dashboard. I'm actually going to show you how to create your own and go through the functionality I went over. So first, dashboards, you can create a dashboard. I already created a dashboard here. And I'm going to showcase here, new dashboard. Put a description that's optional. Viewers, I'm going to leave it on private right now. You can see editors as well. You can change this. Maybe you want to do a project. Maybe it's the project that you're working on right now. And you can change even to roles. And you put add here and you can just add those users there. It's important you press add. If you forget that, they will not have access. Done that a couple times before. We'll put save. You're going to see any dashboards created. So you can see there are empty spaces for gadgets here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some gadgets here. So you can see on the right hand side, they're categorized by different items here of categories of what these gadgets are used for. So there's Jira, there's Jira, Wallboard, charts. And so in these categories, you can see here that there is a lot of different gadgets you can add. And some of the same gadgets you just noticed on the default dashboard as well. This activity stream, this was on the last one. Let's see, it looks very similar. I just put add assigned to me, average age chart, a lot of different gadgets here that can help pull data from your project or projects within Jira. And so you would have to browse through these on your own time because there's so many in here, and I highly encourage you actually create a dashboard yourself and try all of these out to kind of see what use cases or what data you want to view within your team. So for this one, I'm going to maybe put some popular ones. Add a pie chart. You can see here, added it to the left side. You can move that around as well. So you can drag and drop these tiles here. See how I did that right now? There's also like a sprint burn down. Again, this could be something that your team might not need if you're using reports. Just want to put it just to showcase how you can move these tiles around, how these are able to be used. Let's see charts. So charts recently added. I've seen that before. Time sense charts. Let's go add a workload pie chart. So now here, you can see there's more options that come up here. So it doesn't automatically pull the data because it doesn't know where to pull the data from. And so for this one, let's put a filter. So we're going to do a project filter here. I have another video that covers filters, so you can actually add any filter that you want. I'm just going to add the whole project into this pie chart. We're going to do assignee. You can see here there's more items. There's a drop down menu for all of these gadgets to add any of these statistic types. And so I would go through and look through what use case or what stakeholder you're trying to show this data to understand what makes sense for your team. I'm going to leave to assignee. I'm also going to do auto refresh, update every 15 minutes, meaning the data is getting pulled every 15 minutes or updated every 15 minutes. I'm going to save this. Oh, looks like there's no data here. So let me reconfigure it. Let me go to another filter here. So I created another filter called fixed version. Let me save. You can see here now this data has popped up. And the cool thing about this is that most of these are interactive gadgets, meaning that I can click on the unassigned here and see what the stories or bugs are that are associated with that 72%. So if you just use a navigator, you can see here I could see that data. So I think it's important to have that visibility so you can audit the data as well to see what makes up those numbers or percentages, at least for the pie chart. What I'm going to do is I created already a dashboard here that I want to go into next to kind of show you maybe some useful gadgets I've used. Most of the configuration is very similar. You say sprint burn down gadget, next sprint, show sprint name, refresh it 15 minutes, let's save. There's no sprint because it's a wrong board. Let's go to TMS board. You can see here that there's a sprint burn down gadget. Looks like there's nothing is burned down. Looks like I have 5 story points in the current sprint. But you can see gadgets are very similar on you select what you need for your team in your case. Now I'm going to go to a dashboard I already created just so you can kind of see some gadgets that I thought were useful that I've used in the past. And this one is going to be the sprint health gadget. So where is your team out in terms of completion? Is there any scope change? Is there any time elapsed? Where you can compare, is the work complete close to the time elapsed? If not, maybe there are some blockers or impediments from your team. You can ask that in one of your sprint cadence meetings. There's also this two-dimensional filter statistics. You can see here that different bugs or stories, different ticket types or issue types that you can see here to kind of see what the breakdown is. And you can see that there's different users as well that would help out with this. So you could see maybe a breakdown of your team for bugs and user stories that are still open, right? You can modify that how you please. And here's a pie chart as well. Showed that one a little bit earlier. Here's the issue statistics. That is useful as well. Let me show you some other ones I thought I've used in the past and use cases for them as well. So average age chart helps. I've used that for making sure that the tickets are being moved through the workflows. So maybe a Kanban or lean operating model. Level chart I've used before. I don't know if there's anomalies within the team, if there's anything that's blocked, or maybe a lot of comments going through certain tickets to identify maybe the blockers or impediments you can drill down on. Creative risk resolve chart, so maybe using this to making sure that the technical debt is not building faster than the team's able to actually complete. A lot of times this chart in teams usually grows technical debt. At least you can visualize it. Filter results I've used before. Issue statistics, and what status are all these tickets. Different roadmap, Jira roadmaps is by fixed versions coming up for the project, how much % done. Sprint health gadget, that's right here. And so two-dimensional filters are also, I would check this out. Good to kind of look at a spreadsheet-like view of the data within your project. So what I would do is sort of go through this on your own time, because there's so much good stuff. Learn by doing, highly believe in that. And so I would take a look at all of those and see what would use for your use case. There's some of these I've never used before. So if you have used some of these that I didn't mention, please let me know, because curious to see the use case for that. Let me go through a couple more options here before we conclude this video that I thought is important. In this option here, take a look at these other options as well that are important. Rename or share. So if you want to share this dashboard with someone else, you can do that here. Automatic refresh. So I know one of the options were every 15 minutes. So you can kind of pick that automatic refresh in minutes. So you can also do it for each one. View as wallboard. That I haven't used before. I can showcase that right now to see what that looks like. View wallboard, a slideshow. I have not used that before, but you can do that if you want a full screen view of this, and I'll go through that right now. This is view as wallboard. Oops, the bubble chart, because I had that bubble chart added at the end. Let's delete this. View as wallboard. It's just a bigger view of that screen. Again, having used it before, so if you have a use case you'd like to hear, it's important is when you're renaming or sharing, you cannot see everybody's dashboard if they're not sharing it. So let's view at dashboards. So you can see here, these are some dashboards I created so I can see them. You can see these two are private, so others might not be able to see the same dashboards. Here's that default dashboard. So it's important, I think, to share these with your organization, because you can reuse some of the data and the gadgets that people have used, so you can use it for your team. Not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Highly suggest that your team has a culture that is sharing some of these items, unless the data is private. I want to hear what all of you used before in the past with your gadgets. What kind of metrics, what kind of use cases are you using it for? Like to hear it in the comments below. Like to hear to see what other people are using it and how it can be effective and impactful for your team.